Welcome to the Transportation Committee meeting of November the 14th. Roll call. Everyone is here. I'm going to ask Councilman George Valentine to do the invocation and the pledge. Thank you.
Bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. We ask you to bless this meeting tonight. We ask you to bless our residents of Ascension Parish in the state of Louisiana. As always, Father, we ask you to bless our men and women in uniform across the sea, and Father, as they protect themselves and protect our freedom, we ask to also bless the men and women of uniform on land here, Lord, and our home base. Father, the firemen, the policemen, EMS people, Lord, they do a wonderful job, and we ask you to bless them immensely in their family life. I ask this in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, anybody wishing to speak tonight on any agenda item may sign up with the secretary and speak at that item. The first item up would be an update on parish and state projects. That would be you, Mr. Rue, or Mr. Israel?
Mr. Israel will answer some questions.
Thank you.
I'll give you a report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, the council. I handed out a copy of the Ascension Parish Transportation Committee project status update to you, that with the latest information on the ongoing projects in red, highlighted in red on the report. The one item bringing to your attention that the construction on the 2005 roadway widening project is about 45% complete. We're still working on overlaying existing roads, laying pipe at certain locations, and just going forward. Hopefully the weather will continue to be nice and that we can continue to make good progress. As far as the state projects, most of y'all see Airline Highway. Looks like they've got the first lift of asphalt on all 4 lanes down and should be start working on the second final lift shortly. So if there's any questions on these ongoing projects.
It looks like we're just about ready to go on 73 and 621. That's good news.
73 and 621, we've had the plan in hand. The state's, well, actually Ascension Parish's consultant is working on final plans. Hopefully before the end of this fiscal year, they'll have the plans ready and the department can take bids on it.
How long will this project take? Do you have an estimate?
I would estimate about 18 months.
About 18 months to do the whole entire project?
To do the construction, yes.
Right, okay. Anybody have any questions of Mr. Israel on this?
Yeah.
Councilman?
2005 project, everything going okay with that?
We're working through the problems as they come up and working with the contractor and with the design consultant and DPW to answer all questions that come up.
Remember back to the 04 project we had very sizable change order. I'm kind of curious where we're at as far as the 05 project. Are we facing more of the same? Or
as we come up with a solution to any of the problems that require a change order, we will bring them to the council and to this committee as soon as we have an answer that we can present to the committee with all the facts.
Yeah, should we expect anything soon? Or
I can't tell you at this time that right now we are working. There's issues that just need to be resolved and come up with a solution that we can all live with.
All right, okay, thank you.
Councilman Chexton.
Basically what the issues are is we have some fluoride problems.
There are some fluoride that have been discovered
on the
on some
roadways, and y'all trying to figure out the best way to solve those problems?
Correct.
Okay.
Councilman Valenzuela.
Well, it's not just floor-like problems. I think there's some items may have been left out, and some of the roads, the issues coming up that maybe were overlooked in the initial engineering?
The major problem that we're trying to work on is the floor light problem.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Councilman Valentine.
Mr. Israel, maybe Mr. Rue, our intersection improvement project, which is the turn lanes bill, I see we've completed phase 1, phase 2A, phase 2B. What intersections are we working on? They're not listed here. What intersections are we working on there?
We're looking at the next phase of intersections being 621 Airline Highway, which is a right turn.
Right.
That's westward, going westward bound. Highway 44 and Black Bayou Extension and Black Bayou, a turn lane intersection there, and possible change in signalization. And also, I think Ascension 929 and Airline Highway, a right turn. I think that's the next phases of the turn lanes that
Will that complete that intersection widening project?
That'll pretty well complete what we have already committed to.
Right.
And of course, we'll be looking at another program to put together for next year.
That was my next question. Will you come with some suggestions?
We definitely won't before this is completed. Once the engineering and everything else is completed on, it's ready to go for bids, we'll be bringing asking for suggestions or bringing our recommendations to you on a next program. We're going to continually have intersection programs every year.
Well, I mean, this is one area. I mean, and I'm not a person that likes to spend money on state roads, but this is one area where I think we get our bang for our buck, because it aids in moving the traffic around our parish, and I think it's worthy for us to continue that as long as the funds are there and available for us to do that. So that's why I would like to see this one continue.
That's our attitude also, and I think we're going with like a 3 or 4 intersection phase at a time. It doesn't impact our budget to that extent on a yearly basis, and we can get some good work done.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Bill.
Councilman Hillsback.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Fano. Bill, on that turn lane project on 929 and Airline Highway, before that's finalized, I want to be sure that DPW and Mr. Shaheen gets with Glavin Broussard, Mr. Broussard, about that right-of-way issue. He's got some concerns about what that turn lane is going to do to his property. Mm-hmm. So before that project is finalized, get ready to go to bid, let's make sure that we don't have any issues there with him.
And that's one reason these were put back, especially the 621 Airline and also the 929 Airline intersections, we consider some of the most difficult because of the fact of utility relocation, and also right-of-way issues at both. 621, actually, part of our problem was solved, unfortunately, with the developer taking down some huge oak trees that we didn't really want to get involved with because of the issue of taking down such beautiful trees. But that was done already. We still got to issue utility relocation.
Yeah, well, his concern is where that turn lane is going to start in front of his property, and so I just want us to get with him and let's make sure that
before the final design is complete, we're going to work out the right-of-way issues.
Okay.
There's no use completing something and can't get the right-of-way to do it.
Councilman Lambert.
Yeah, Mr. Bill, talking with Ditto and some Mr. Valentine's. I've talked to Representative Mert Smiley, and he said they had a plan on turning lanes that, probably would take some matching funds from the parish, but they had a plan put together of several turning lanes that would very impact our, entire parish. And they had money available, and they had a plan started. I don't know if it ever got completed. I've never seen anything on it, but he did say they were working on it.
The only thing I know about it is this. In fact, it goes back to something that we've been suggesting for a number of years, and is how our intersection program got started. And that was the fact that that was the best way of getting the traffic flowing was to improve the intersection. So we got into this program several years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. What Representative Smiley is talking about is expanding that program to more center lane turns, as in the Santa Monica intersection with that's 431 and Church Point. More intersections on major highways, but that's just something that we were considering also as part of our master transportation plan. The first phases of that plan was going on the major highways, doing major intersection improvements, and then tying in with multi-lanes between those intersections. This is something we've been advocating also, but we need to come back to you and get our master plan put together, and I think we're going to talk about some of it tonight on this tax for possible improvements. But that would be the first phase of a master plan, is improving your intersection.
Right. Apparently he said he had some money available now, with some matching funds that the state may not have.
Well, what I know about it is the fact that that's the easiest way of getting some money through DOTD and from the state is to on intersection of programs like that, because it's not that much money, and it's not usually not a right-of-way issue. And it's easier to get
on that issue. I got one more, Ms. Kent. On Cannon Road, what is the time frame on? That's from Roddy Road to Black Bayou Canal. I see we got the 100% preliminary engineering, nothing else, 50% on the grubbing, but the rest is zero.
Yes,
that's taking place there.
At this point in time, we are looking at the preliminary plans to see what changes we can make to reduce the right-of-way taking, so that we could have less impact on the houses and people's property along that road. So it will be sometime after the first of the year before we decide exactly what to do, and then start final plans.
Okay.
Just one last question, Cheryl.
Mr. Councilman Hill.
Yeah, thank you. Just one last question on John Broussard, on the straightening of John Broussard. That's in the 05 project.
Yes.
I understand the engineer design has been completed.
Yes, we have redesigned that section of road, or that road has been redesigned so that we can miss the trees.
Yeah, crepe myrtles.
Pecans, whatever.
Okay. And the contractor has it, so we're fixing to go forward.
He was supposed to have gotten the plans.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
I also wanted to go in on what Mr. Councilman Valentine said about the turn lanes. That is a major thing in Ascension Parish, is traffic. I think all of us pretty well put that on our list when we first got elected. And it's inexpensive, and so I would like to see administration, work more toward getting that. I would like to see them get with each councilman, because surely everybody's got at least 2 or 3 in their district that needs to. So that if we can get a list of the major ones that everybody wants, and then if we have extra funds, we're making money right now. The sales tax are up. The property taxes are up. There's lots going on right now. So if we can put some money aside for those type of projects, since we can get them done inexpensively, I think that we will all agree that that would be something that we would like to press in on. And if Mert Smiley does have some some funds that he can get from the state to do the state intersections, and all we have to do is the match, that might even get us more work. So if we can press in on that.
And that's exactly, we have already talked to the state, been talking to the state about it. And all we need is approval from y'all to put up some matching funds. And we can get some projects like this on some major highways. So that should be a problem now.
I will check with the state and see what program they have for intersection improvements, and see what procedures we can do to help the situation.
If you can get us an earmark of a figure that we can earmark in the budget or whatever to provide matching funds for just turn lanes, that would be helpful.
Now we already have in the MPO, in the program, the tip is 431 in Gold Place. And I think that's scheduled for maybe next year or a year after. It might be next year. I got to check.
And that's intersection?
Or a year after. To do a center lane turn and a left turn at that intersection. So that's already in the tip, but in schedule for funding.
Sounds good.
Bit-
Councilman Chestnut.
Kent, you had reported that, speaking of turn lanes, coming off the bridge road on Highway 70 and 22,
Yes.
where is that? They said that was something.
The state has not issued a work order to the contractor yet for that project, so it should be coming fairly soon.
Is soon months or?
I would say yes after the first of the year, but I'm guessing. I don't know what their status, but I can find out and let you know.
Okay, I appreciate it on that. That's important.
Councilman Hillary.
Thank you, Shirley. One last thing about the turn lanes. 929 and 42. It's horrendous. Bill, I know the state earlier this year went out and did a study. Did we ever get the results on?
We actually in the masters the stage 0 that was done on Highway 42 has an analysis of that intersection too.
Right.
And I think we can refer to it and get a lot of information. We also, as part of the Planning Commission, I know myself, I made comments on 2 subdivisions that's supposed to come on Parker Road and in that vicinity. And my comments was for the developer to participate in intersection improvements at 929 and 42, because that would be the primary out of them getting on 42, getting to Baton Rouge, is that location.
Right.
So I put a requirement in through the Planning Commission to for these subdivisions to participate. So we might be able to get some funds to improve that intersection, at least on the 929 side, prior to getting any funding or projecting through the state.
Okay.
So I'm waiting to see what kind of money I can get out of the developers.
All right. Well, it's just bad situation there at 42 and 929. I mean, it's just unbelievable amount of traffic, and everything's at a standstill with no turn lanes. People trying to turn left or turn south. So, thank you.
Is that all? Anybody else? Thank you, Ken. The next item is update on grass cutting, spraying on roadside ditches. Mr. Rue?
See, I'm trying to find the list. I have a handout which gives you an update as for the month of October. And it shows what the road department has been doing, which includes weed control.
Thank you, sir.
But it also includes some of our road projects and bridges that were completed on the road itself. And you're welcome to, we know we can answer questions, or of course you can review it and get with me tomorrow if you have some concerns or more information. We are going to actually through a 5th rotation on a lot of the roads, just to clean them up and catch some sites that weren't done to the, as much as we wanted to in the past, earlier this year. In addition to that, we've met with DOTD audit department, and we are putting together some more information that they require for them to do an audit of the state program. And right now it shows roughly that we're spending twice what we get, over twice what we get from the state to man and maintain the state highways per our contract. Right now it's roughly $139,000 that we get for the state per the contract, and it shows, our records show that we're probably spending in the $280,000 to $290,000 range to do this work. Once they go through the audit, then they're going to come back with a determination of, number one, how much money we should be getting and to break even, and then they're going to make the determination, DOTD will make the determination if in fact they'll give us more money or not. Depends on their funding. So we should have most of this complete by the end of next week. Their audit, everything will be to them by next week.
So the state's giving us $139,000 139,000.
roughly 139,000,
And we're spending about 280.
about 280, maybe a little bit more. Especially, and next year it can be more even than that when we get into the higher costs of benefits, and that's been one of our problems the last few years. Benefits been mounting, and we haven't been getting any more compensation.
Mr. Root, we had okay, well, never mind. That's on the agenda down there.
Bill, I do have a question about the Bayou Grand North project. You said down here still working. Can you elaborate a little bit? I'm getting some people that are really kind of getting antsy. They're thinking it's taking too long.
Well, we're having a little bit of a problem because we did not know that a sewer line was about 6 feet under the center of the road. And so we hit the sewer line. We had a dotty, everything, but we just didn't have any indication that that was there. We having an issue with the company that maintains the sewer system as who we're responsible for it. According to the parish, we're saying it's in our servitude, which is the state road. And but I think we're coming to a resolution on how to fix the line. I think it's low enough that we can pour our slab around it, encasing it in steel pipe, and then place our box covers on top. That has been somewhat of a hold up the last week. But we're moving forward. This is a combination road and drainage issue. The road department is doing the work because they have the experience in it, but the drainage department is paying for the material. And again, the major holdup or a little bit of a holdup right now is the sewer issue.
Okay, if you think about it, and if it comes to your mind, kind of update me by email. Sure. if there's any other problems.
We should have everything resolved by tomorrow for us, what we're going to do with the pipe and our plan to move to the next step.
Just so I have an answer when I'm asked, because they are asking.
And tell you the new scope of work and also the time schedule to complete it.
Sounds good. Thank you. Councilman Lambert.
Yeah, Bill, on these state highways that we're cutting, what would happen if we selected not to cut these highways or reduce the amount of mileage? Would the state, what kind of equipment or man force do they have now? It's getting, like you said, with the cost of benefits and everything else, we're gonna be 200,000 in the hole by the.
The state will either do it with their own manpower or sub it out, more than likely sub it out, if they can find somebody to take it for that price.
But we don't know what kind of schedule they have. But we don't cut all the state highways, so some of them, are they cutting them annually or
we
once
do
a
have
year?
some roads. 941 is one that the state maintains. They have,
they don't maintain.
but you can see how often that's done.
I know that, but we just can't keep that's escalating more and more and expect to eat it.
Well, that's our opinion too. Is that only thing we ask for is to get close to break even,
right,
and maintain.
And that's where it started off. I think when it started, we were pretty much breaking even with it, but now it's escalating so much. It's
cost of fuel, benefits, employee costs, all of it keeps going up.
It's just eating a pretty good dent.
But
now.
what we are going to do is go through the process, get with DOTD and have them respond back to us and we're going to negotiate and come up with a price. Now then we're going to bring whatever that price is, no matter if it's lower or more. We're going to take it, bring it to you, the committee. Okay. And report back to you and have you authorize us to proceed with signing the, take it to full council to sign the new contract. It has to go to full council.
Right. I don't guess at that time we could have a state representative here, like somebody from the board, in supervision to answer some questions.
This is all right now. It's premature. Right now, it's just a issue with the auditing section of DOTD. They're going to go through their business and give the facts to their report to DOTD. Then we'll meet with DOTD and discuss and negotiate some of the costs.
Okay.
Councilman Ram, I met with the people at the Bowen over there 2 weeks ago, and their workforce is.
But it's not the parish's responsibility.
Basically, what he said is that we're on our own, and so. We either pretty much have a choice. We can either maintain them or not, and he's not in a position to take over it. So that's our decision. I mean, I have no problem if we don't want to do state roads. That's fine. But
well, at least
don't expect the state to come back and
right.
pick them up, though.
But if we are getting 139, then maybe we need, when it's either or, maybe we can at least identify the main roads for the 139. Right?
No, what they're going to do is it's unit cost. It's so much per mile of road.
Okay, so they wouldn't reduce the
lane mile. So no, it's a unit cost. So you reduce the mileage, the money goes down too.
I see. That doesn't sound too good, does it?
No.
One other question, since we're talking about DOTD, I'm very interested in having 621 and 73 cleaned again. I know we got a project coming, that's why we didn't do any kind of landscaping, but it's just an eyesore, and it is the first entrance into our parish. So if they can kind of sweep it up again a little bit. They've done it a couple of times. Maybe they just need to be reminded if you could do that.
We'll put in a request.
Thank you. Councilman Hillenspeth.
Thank you. That's fine. Mr. Rue, the under the road department report for October, I see we've done some repairs on Pelican Point Parkway and Jonathan Lyric. Was that the same issue that was discussed last meeting?
Yes, it is. And that's just a few. And further down, we have, I think, on the agenda.
Okay. I apologize.
So Pelican Point subdivision roads, and we're going to be discussing what's going on there and what we plan on doing.
Cheryl was talking about Bayou Glen in that road department. Right. Dove Estates in Swan Circle, is that also down? Okay, good. I'm just curious where that is. All right, thank you.
Okay, our next item up is an update on the safety bulletin. If you remember last summer, the Council Transportation put a safety bulletin on our TV on our Channel 21, which dealt with speeding and asking the citizens to be mindful of that. An article in the paper spurred a new one, and I'm asking the Council Transportation Committee to review it tonight and possibly approve it to replace this one, which they will rotate the other one back in the summertime when the kids are out. So, Ozzy, roll it. Thank you, Ozzy.
We need a motion on that, Madam Chair.
That would be nice.
Make that motion that we.
Any objections? Then Ozzy, you can place that one in place of the other one. We appreciate your time and the effort that you do with our TV. Thank you. Item number 7 is update on state surplus monies. Is that you, Mr. Rue?
Right, yes, ma'am. I've been working with Kent Israel with URS and with DOTD, and actually Kent has taken this and has been in numerous discussions with DOTD about this subject. We recommend that we, and the way we went about this is allow DOTD to put in for what they call priority 2 projects of $10 million as part of funding through the state, and also $5 million as part of the Priority 5 projects. And what we suggest now, that's in the system. They already apply for that for us, that surplus. What we recommend now, we're going to author a resolution from the parish, from the council, to be sent to the governor and to the legislature, and recommending that they go along with this. What DOTD's recommendation is to add that money through them to us for the Highway 42 project. So we're going to be coming to probably to the next meeting, or before then. We'll probably come straight to the council with a resolution. We'll send it to you first, and for you to adopt and send to the state.
Councilman Hill.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ms. Fino. Bill, so as it stands right now, we've got approximately $11 million in federal money toward 42.
Actually, we've got about $8 or $9 million.
That's right. Some of the little of that money was shifted to 93 to 73. Right. Okay, that's right. I remember now. So we got about $9 million there in federal funds. So if the governor and was to approve this, we'd have 9 plus 10 is 19, 5 is 24. That would get us at least the section done, Highway 61 east to 44, right?
Yes, sir.
And
they get a good bit of it done.
Good, yeah. Okay. All right.
Any other questions on this item?
And when I say getting it done, is that 4-lane, 5-lane?
That's for the 5-lane.
5-lane, okay.
Right.
All right, because I know that's what the recommendation is.
Estimate. Now, I have to mention that what we did was, and actually URS, Kent went through and we had some comments as per that Stage 0 report, and I'm going to hand out our comments to you.
Okay. But yeah, we talk a little more about it when we get to item 12.
We do have a little bit of a problem with the figures that they had in that report with the $24 million and the right-of-way issues and some other things. So that report probably is going to change some in the estimates and the costs. But at least we got upwards of 18 million or so that if we can get some of this funding, at least the 10 million to go along with the 9 million, and hopefully we can get that the Priority 5, which is kind of hard. That's way down the list when you get to the Priority 5 project. Priority 2 is more likely that you can get it if they put it in Priority 2 projects. But if we get to 5 million, it just goes that much further to doing the project.
Ms. Fino, I'd like to request that the December 5th meeting at the legislature on the funding issues.
Well, that's the road show, what they call. It's just when they get comments on their project for the coming year.
I'd like for that to be posted on the TV channel, because there are business people and there's residents along 42. Some of them might be interested in attending that meeting. I believe it's December 5th, 9 o'clock in the morning. Is that right, Bill? At the legislature?
At the state capitol, one of the committee rooms. I'm not sure
state capitol, one of the committee. I'd like for Ozzy to post that meeting on the channel, and area business people and interested residents, what have you, might could show up and make some comments and plea that
that shouldn't be hard to do. Stacy, could you make that request or remind Ozzy? I'm sure he hears us back there in the sound room, but if you will, make a point to get an email to him and ask him to draft a little post, a bulletin.
Yeah, and he can get the information from Mr. Rue about the meeting, exact time, location, what have you. Thank you.
Is that all on this particular item, Mr. Rue?
That's all I have.
Okay. Item number 8 is an update on the 2006 road list.
I'm going to hand out something else, and it really pertains to the 2006 road list and also the 2007 traffic needs issue, item number 10. Because it's one of the requests I had from the committee was to bring the committee members and also the council up to date really on what has been suggested in the past as for roads to be on a project. And so you don't want to submit the same thing that maybe that was submitted before. So what I'm handing out is the 2005 list of roads. That's what's going on right now. The next one is the 2006, which was approved by the council, and we're doing it at DPW in-house. So that's a list of roads that's already been accepted. The next page after that is, and it goes along with the Pelican Point roads. These are some of the bad spots along Pelican Point. And what our suggestion is to go in and do the repair work ourselves. But we have to tear up a lot of the roads in doing so and have it as part of the next project to come through there and do a road program and fix the patchwork within Pelican Point. So that is part, we're suggesting being part of the 2007 program. The last page is the only roads that I could find that was submitted to Mr. Babin, and particularly Mr. Babin before he left, on roads for the next 2007 program. And it's a good bit of it was in Sorrento, and of course we got the Pelican Point roads that after we do the drainage work that needs to be worked on. So this is everything that we have so far. So what we're asking is for the council members to look at what's being done, what's already is in the 2006 project, and the information that we have for the 2007. And if they have other roads that is of concern to them or to you, go ahead and give us that list so we can do an inspection of it and give our recommendation back to you as what we suggest to do with the roads. And we're going through our own evaluation. It's going to take a little bit longer to have a list, comprehensive list, but we're doing our own evaluation at the same time for the 2007 project.
2007, Bill, how much money we're planning on spending there? The same as usual, about $2.5 million?
We're trying to hold out what we term our maintenance rehabilitation work, which is overlay and some stay within the same profile of the road, reconstruction work, at about $2.5 million. But that can raise. I mean, it's the determination of the.
I was just fixing to ask, you know, with revenues up, would it be possible to do right around $3 million?
Well, the one thing I caution you on is do the roads that's necessary, and just not to spend money. And I'll give you a good reference on this. Years ago, everything was done by how much money you spent. They didn't look at what did the road really needed at that time or not. A lot of roads was done, a lot of money was spent, but you had a lot of roads that really could have lasted another 3-4 years before it was done. The point I'm getting to is that we're catching up on a lot of our bad roads. The ones that really need to be worked on right now, parish roads, we have a few main arterial roads or connector roads, but it's mostly your little subdivision or single lane driveway type roads that's falling apart. And what we recommend to do with that, just an overlay over existing asphalt. And don't spend a lot of money on it because it's not a heavily traveled roads. Some of our major roads, with the exception of state highways, are in fairly decent shape. We're catching up on that. So I don't recommend, I said let's do a complete evaluation of our needs out there and spend only the money that we need to on that work and reserve the rest of the money for some major project, cost sharing or something like that.
Bill, in 2004 you had given us an extensive list, and they were highlighted red and yellow in different colors as to priority, and that's how we came up with the 205 road project. Do we still have that list that we can compare some of these other roads on it to make sure that we complete that list, as well as getting, you know, the councilman to give new roads that are not on that list? I
tried to find that list and I couldn't. I remember the one you're talking about.
I think I have it, but I'll have to dig it out.
I have to go back and look. But I think since that time, the 2005, 2006, and the 2007,
I think we
pretty well took care of all of those needs too.
I was just wondering because I know I had some on there that didn't qualify, you know, as top priority, but made the next priority, and I don't think that they got. In fact, I didn't have anything in 2006 in my district, and just I knew there was some.
Look and see, and that's why I'm giving out all the information I have. And of course, you know, Mr. Babin left, and he had a lot of information, notes and stuff like this. I researched his notes and his information off of his computer, and this is just all I could find. I'm just giving you all the information I have. Go back to, I'm asking every council member to go back to that district And if they notice something that's not on the list, not any of this list, let us know. And we probably have it on our list, but just to make sure that we have everything, all your concerns met, give me the list back that you see in your district.
Can you get this list that you have here to everybody?
I will send it to all council members. I want to give it to you first.
That sounds good. Mr. Shexton.
Bill, can we get a look into the projected cost or something? It was suggested, we're looking at needs for 2007, by the Lowry School. It's in an area that is right in between a very long stretch on Bayou Lafourche between bridges by the Sonic and all the way down to the end of the parish. And the school buses come out there and they have to go one way or another, a number of miles, one way or another. At this point in time, there is vacant lots directly across as you exit the school. And I would like to take a look at that either through bridge or whatever, but try to find out what it would cost to put a bridge there so we can find out what kind of priority we would have, because that is a real need now that the school is there and the children are going through with buses, and in order to get a quarter of a mile down the road, they have to go 10 miles out of the way. And so it also leads to an area that can be connected to the road on the opposite side. So
I'll get with URS and we'll put together a report, an estimate of cost and what it'll take to do something you're talking about.
Okay.
We looked at a bridge issue over there, but we didn't. I don't think we put together anything about a connected
This would
road.
be a new bridge. I mean, it was something that has been needed for quite a while. However, when but kind of people forget about it because they just work through that. But with the school being there, it's really brought up a lot of problems, and it's increasing the traffic that's having to go back and forth there. That could really reduce the traffic on Highway 1 and 308 in that area by simply putting another bridge crossing there that would cut out on the trips that the buses would have to take. So,
we'll have a report and send it back to you.
okay, I appreciate it. Would you put that on the agenda next time?
And what's that?
Yeah. Report on that bridge, just to see, get some information.
Stacy, that goes on the next council transportation agenda. If you can get that on there. We can continue on right now and continue on with the item number 9, the discussion on Pelican Point subdivision roads. While we're talking about roads.
Yes, that was,
I'm handing out
you were going to
some
give us a
information.
report on that.
And what I'm giving you is the report of several questions was asked of us, and that is the full extent of the problems in Pelican Point. Do we really need to contract it out, or could we do it in-house? And also the roads that are actually still private and the ones that was part of our parish maintenance system. So before you'll see that the main roads in Pelican Point have been accepted into the parish, and unfortunately most of the all the damages has been done on roads that's been accepted into the parish. And so I have it listed there, an indication of which ones we have the damage on. And like I said earlier, we feel now our engineer went and looked at it and came back with a determination that our in-house personnel could do the drainage repairs. And then again, if that is finished about the time our next road program comes up, we just put the patchwork or the overlay of the road where we did the damage repairs into a project and have a professional contractor come in there and refinish the roads.
That would be the cheapest way to do that.
That'd be the cheapest way, and that's what we recommend.
That'd be fine. You going to keep us updated on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Cheryl, I'm sorry. If we're through that agenda item, can we back up to the 06 road?
Yeah, we're still discussing all that, yes.
Oh, okay, I thought we'd moved on to
just kind of
discussion on
combined
Pelican Point. Oh, okay, good. All right, good. Thank you. Bill, Muddy Creek Road. I know we put off doing anything on Muddy Creek because of all the deliberation on bridge grant, and of course now we're moving forward. What we decided was not to do the road until the bridge was raised, because it didn't make a lot of sense to go in and overlay the road and then come in and raise the bridge and then have to redo a major section of the road. Excuse me. I drove Muddy Creek yesterday, and it's really getting in bad shape. It's breaking up. Got grass growing in places in the center lane where it's cracking. I'd like that road to be inspected, maybe by the department. And
we have, and it is in need of repair. I don't really have a problem in doing the parts of the road that is outside of the scope for raising the bridge. Because it really doesn't matter. We're only going to take the two approaches a certain distance on each side of the bridge.
Right.
That's going to be reconstructed for us, the bridge raising.
Well, I'd like that Muddy Creek overlay, with the exception of the section where the bridge is.
It is in need. It has been on
added that 06 project
list for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, now this is again the 06.
I mean, I'm sorry, the 07. I apologize.
Right.
07. Yeah.
Yeah.
The last page.
We can add that to the 07 request.
Right. Do we need a motion on that, Cheryl? Okay.
No, we just got to add all the concerns, and then we're going to evaluate and come back with our recommendation of the roads with the costs. In about a 2.5 million range, back to the committee to approve or change or
well, and my concern on that road, as it gets worse, it's just going to cost more and more to do the overlay when it's done. So I think it does need to be addressed sooner than later. Thank you.
Calvin Chesona.
Bill, and help me understand, you were talking about those the Pelican Point roads. Y'all going to begin doing the drainage repairs now?
And if you notice in some of the project work for last month, we have already started, and we're going to continue to doing project work on
the drainage part, and then
repair it.
And then when all of that's finished,
then you're going
to do
the road repair all at one time.
Okay.
And for the time being, if the people at Pelican Point are going to see what we're doing, we're going to be putting limestone out. We may even put some asphalt, but it'll just be patch asphalt. Okay. And so it's not going to be pretty until we come through there and do the overlay.
Anybody else have any questions on this particular agenda item? Bill, the discussion on the 2007 traffic needs, I had put that on there basically because traffic is a concern. We've already talked about that tonight, that that we would make turn lanes an even more priority and try to put whatever excess funds we can into that little kitty to try to help with traffic in every district.
And I think that goes with what we were discussing just now. I think limit your overlay, limit your minor roads to a certain budget amount, and then put your money on your traffic needs, which is your turn lane. And you can add even building up that fund or that expenditure more, doubling it if you want to, and spend your excess on something like that. I think you come out a lot better.
Right. Sounds great. Keep us posted on that. Number 11. I put this on the agenda, discussion of the master plan design for the half-cent sales tax. I recently received an email that told me that that we had been given a task by our council chairman on the half-cent sales tax as the transportation committee, and that there was no reports done, and that nothing was done about this, and it concerned me. I have all of the minutes to the council meetings and the minutes to the transportation committee meeting. We did extensive work on the master transportation plan, and when it came time to get it placed on the ballot, which I felt like we had done our job, was to identify the roads to attach to the half-cent sales tax. I thought it was administration that was going to move the half-cent sales tax, that our task was to do the plan, and I felt like we completed our plan. I felt like we reported extensively, and it's even extensive in the minutes, what we reported. And I was told that at one particular time in July last year that it was placed on the agenda to be put on the ballot on our council agenda, and then that administration had removed it and it never went anywhere. I just want to clear the air that this transportation committee did not put a halt on that. We did everything we possibly could to make sure that we had a road list together to present to the people to let them know what they would get for their money. And I just want to clear the air, and that was my report tonight on the half-cent sales tax.
I got a question. Ms. Funk.
Councilman Hillman-Sparrow.
I guess the question I have, doesn't the parish president and the council chairman put together the agenda?
Yes, sir.
Have you addressed this with Councilman Savoy? I mean, if they jointly do the agenda, what was Mr. Savoy's comments on this? Did he not object to it when they were doing the agenda?
Removed?
Yeah.
I don't think he had a say in it.
I don't understand that.
Well, that's
They jointly do the agenda. So,
well, I'm just saying
okay.
that one was placed on there and
Okay.
removed.
all right, thank you.
The next item up is the Louisiana Highway 42 Stage 0 Feasibility and Environmental Inventory Traffic Study. Councilman Hillens-Beck.
Yes, thank you, Councilwoman Fontenot. I'd invited Representative Lambert, but he had a conflict, couldn't be here tonight. But I guess my question, Bill, I understand you have some public comments or some comments that's going forward on the plan. Will there be an opportunity for the public to comment on this particular study?
Well, right now, I think it's pretty technical, and Mr. Israel, actually, Ken Israel, reviewed the report in depth, gave me the list of concerns that he had, and it's come to about 10. And I'll email with the email from Kent to tell you what the concerns are. But a lot of it has to do with technical issues within the report that we need to clear up. Why are they doing a certain, or figure something a certain way? But once these comments come in, we get their reaction from DOTD or the engineering firm that put it together. Then we'll bring that back to the public or to y'all. Right now, we're just waiting to clear this up because it has an issue with the overall report, the answers to some of these questions. It also, has a few suggestions in how you have the several alternatives. We're actually looking at combining some of the alternatives at different sections of the highway, and that makes more sense than just doing it as per their suggestions. Wow. So again, what I would suggest right now is that you wait until we get a response back from them, answers to the questions,
okay,
and then actually Kent and I will come back to you at your committee meeting, hopefully at the next meeting maybe.
Okay.
And discuss this more in depth as to what we see.
The previous study, Bill, that was done a few years back on Highway 42. I say a few. It may date back 5-6 years ago. In that particular study, did they include, was design work actually done? And if there was design work, no, I see Mr. Israel shaking his head. So there's been no engineer design.
It was basically, I think, and Ken could pick up a lot more than I can, but it's more of a environmental impact of that project back then, and a lot of it had to do too with extending 42 to the interstate with the exchange. So
right.
It was a different type of project, and so this is completely different, I would think.
Okay, good.
Bill, is that the email that you sent us on that Highway 42?
I may have sent it to you. I'm not sure. I thought I sent it, but I'm not sure.
It was like 15 pages, and it had
Well, that's
the 42.
What I did. I sent you that, and what that is what, for lack of a better term, executive summary, because the book is about 2 inches thick, right. The report. So what I did was pull out the final pages of it that really gets down to the nuts and bolts, the alternatives, the costs, and the recommendations of the engineering firm. And that's what I sent to you for review.
Yeah, it looked like it. It appears to be that if we want to complete the solid road, we're going to be very short of funds And a lot of the alternatives that they expressed in there were doing these intersections and then enjoying that afterwards, which is, I think, what you had talked about before. And that makes a whole lot of sense.
And that's one of the things that Kent and I talked about, and actually Kent recommended was doing a combination of the alternatives that presented in the summary at different points of the road, and then reconfiguring the scope to do it a little bit different than what they suggested in there. Instead of all at one time or something like this, do it in phases, turn lanes, and with not necessarily a multi-lane all the way, multi-lanes at certain parts, and then less than that at other parts.
It seems like with the money's available, you could go to all, I believe there was 9 intersections. You could take all 9 of those intersections and improve the intersections with the idea of, what Doug, is it 5 lanes? Down the line is have that 5 lane at the intersections, and then as we get monies, we could attach each intersection, and the traffic flow would immediately be served.
Right, and I think part of this project is actually to recommend a scope for the entire project, and then we can phase it any way we want to after we get the complete design.
Well, that makes a
scope.
lot of sense, yeah.
So we know what we're doing at every stage.
Sure, Councilman Hill.
Right.
Well, the floor on this one. Anyway.
Yeah, thank you. I got an email from the parish president last night on this, and in his email, Bill, he's saying that the MPO is on board, that they're supporting moving forward on 42. He says he has their full support, and in his email he even suggests that there's a good possibility they might be able to have monies and get something started in the next year or so. If I remember
realistically speaking, we're looking at 5 years probably. Kent and I talked about that today too. You know, you have a lot of issues.
He's overly optimistic in his email then.
A lot of work to do before you're really getting down to Durning.
It's called overly political.
Yeah. But
well, it was good to hear that MPO was on board, that organization, Metropolitan Planning Organization, they support it. So.
Yeah, as demo money, I mean, that's some of the first projects that TIP takes into the program, of course, because there's money available for it, demo money. So that's not much of a problem.
Councilman Hill, Inspector, you have the next one, turn lane request for Louisiana 73 Old Jefferson at the Highway 427 and Perkins Road.
Yes, thank you, Councilwoman Fontenot. I'm getting calls on traffic backing up in the northbound lane of 73 Old Jefferson at that intersection where people are now trying to turn on the Perkins Road, and we need a turn lane there. Resolution goes to state. I make that motion. It goes to full council.
Second. You're talking about a middle lane. Huh?
Yeah, middle lane, turn lane, so they can turn west on the 427 Old Perkins Road. They're behind the Winn-Dixie.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to let the state know that we would like a turn lane at this intersection. We have any objections? There being none, the motion passed. Please put that on the next council agenda. That would be for the following one in Donaldsonville.
Thank you.
Item number 14, Councilman Todd Lambert, Summerfield North Road issue.
Yeah, this has been a long controversy. They got 75 foot on the end of this Summerfield North Road that shows on the maps that was public roads, but what wasn't paved at the time because it wasn't needed, I believe. Bill got a little bit of knowledge on it also, and I'm just asking for us to take this 75 feet and pave it.
So move.
Yeah, second.
It's on 75. We can put it on the tail end of one of the projects.
There's a lot of controversy over there. If you take the original plat of Summerfield Road, it included that.
That's small,
but
you can do it over 2.
Because of the houses that was built way back when it first developed this thing, the houses only went a certain distance, and we only paved a certain distance. Since then, since we never did improve it, never did anything to that extra 75 feet, it became a controversy who actually owned it. Did the parish have it? But it went, and in fact, it's going to litigation, or was going to go to litigation. It was determined by the judge saying, hey, look, if everybody agreed if the parish to go ahead and take, like it originally intended to do, the 75 feet, pave it, it would clear up all the issues, and I agree with that, our recommendation to do it.
Have we taken the road? I mean, do we need to include that in the motion to take the road?
I think it'll clear everything up if you make the motion to formally accept that extra 75 feet of that road into the extension of that road into the maintenance system. And it'll just clear up the issue for us. So that I would recommend that as a motion.
To include that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to officially take in the extra 75 feet on Summerfield Road.
Summerfield North.
Summerfield North.
And to do maintenance on it.
And to do maintenance on it. The next question, Bill, will you include that in the 206 or the 207, 206?
Well, we'll include it into the 207, but if money's available, from one of the other, the 206 project, then, because a lot of times you get to the end of the project, you got money left over from your budget.
Right.
And if we do, well, then we'll just go ahead, with your permission, add that little bit to 2006.
That motion
Yeah, I mean, it's something
just do it.
Yeah,
he just
let Bill take that in his hand.
Okay, sounds good.
We've got to vote officially.
You want to make the motion? You making that
Doug
motion?
made the motion
Doug
and
and I
Todd seconded.
Well, that we did. Oh, okay. No, we did that already.
You didn't vote, though.
It's in the maintenance.
It's in the maintenance. Okay, in the maintenance. Any objections to the motion? Then that motion goes to the full council at the
Madam Chairman.
Donaldsonville meeting.
Madam Chair, before
Yes.
we go any further, while I'm thinking about it, if you, for the agenda item number 7, I would like for you to go ahead and make put on the next agenda for a council meeting to accept the resolution to the state for how to spend the surplus money.
So moved.
Because we'll have this to you, the resolution to you, but I'd like to get it passed by the council at the
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to make a resolution to the state explaining our needs for the surplus monies.
That'd be fine.
Any objections?
And again, just for clarification, that's requesting $10 million in priority 2 spending and $5 million, excuse me, in priority $5 million toward
Right.
Highway 42.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Include that in the motion.
But we also, and just to expand on it, just to touch more, we not only going to limit it to that, we also going to say for other infrastructure needs.
Yeah.
Right.
Because what we recommend, and a lot of legislators are recommending, is to use that excess money for infrastructure.
So we're going to expand it to include other projects
And
besides
these
that.
two particular issues, and also
the motion
other
you're making, gentlemen?
infrastructure needs. So we'll have it all for you.
Okay.
But-
Yeah. That's the motion we make.
That's the motion. They're making an objection. There being none, the motion passed. Get that to the full council. Okay, number 15, potholes on West Ascension roads. Councilman Schexnayder.
Bill, we've had a few roads that have, I guess because of increase in traffic and everything, has gotten a few potholes in them. I just wanted to make sure that there was a program going on that we were going through and taking care of those. We've gotten a few calls on that.
We have a pothole crew that has a regular schedule, and which includes Donaldsonville. All parish roads.
What would the phone number be that people could call? Because
It's 621-5730 is the direct number to
Okay.
DPW, and they'll give them to our road department, and they'll make the work order and give it over to the pothole crew to go and check it out.
okay, because
But I'll check tomorrow on
Turn
what
to
is
work
the
on
schedule and
Gina.
what roads have they done.
yeah, well, there was a couple of them that they had already had done. I do know that.
Right.
And but there was a couple of calls on that, and I just wanted to make sure that they knew how the process to go about doing that.
That's all they need to do.
All right, thanks.
Okay, item number 16, Councilman Barger asked me to put Causey Road on. I don't see him. I guess he's went home. Anybody here know what he needs done on Causey Road? Mr. Root.
I think he wants to have us look at it for us, putting it into a road program for us, fixing, overlaying or whatever, some of the road. Causey Road is actually the going from 929 where it turns to Highway 44. It also may, I have to call the councilman up, it may also include some kind of intersection improvement, Causey Road, and which is across from Merritt Evans, and that is also part of one of our intersection projects that we looked at and we just haven't got to yet, is the intersection improvement at that location.
Well, Bill, if you will get with Berger and check to see exactly what he wants and then put it on whatever list it is, and if it's something that needs to come back to us for approval, then bring it back. Okay, number 17, Raven Road Extension, Dara. There's nobody here on that. Is that you, Mr. Rue?
No, I think that's also was put on by with that and the next item, number 18, by Councilman
Adrian
Thompson, and we are investigating that, and we'll report back as per what our opinion is, and if it needs to be added on to our road maintenance system. Of course, it has to go through planning department, but I'll explain all of this to Councilman Thompson and tell him what the procedure is.
And if it's something, you'll bring it back. Just put it on next time's agenda. Number 19, roads to be accepted.
Hang on a second. Let's make a motion that we put the load limit on Pierce Road, which is
Oh, that's what he wanted.
18.
That's correct. Yes.
So I
indeed.
moved it to that.
Yes. Glad
Bill,
you
I think
caught that.
he
Okay.
talked to you about that.
Yeah.
We just need a council action on that
Just need
to the load
council
limit.
action, and we haven't looked at it yet, to be honest with you. I need to
Okay.
go in and
Well,
investigate it a little bit further.
pending your investigation, we'll put the approval. We can do that at the meeting. By the meeting in Donaldsonville, we should have that fax. Okay.
Stacy, you can add that to the agenda because I think there's no objections to that. Am I right? Go ahead and put that on the next council agenda too, pending, of course, Mr. Rue's recommendations. Number 19, roads to be accepted into the parish system. Do we have that in our packet?
Yeah.
You have that, I think.
Yeah, we got it.
We
It's in our
got
packet.
that.
Mr. DeOrman has been busy.
Pretty
I'm
experiment.
going to turn this over
Pretty good list.
To Mr. DeOrman.
to Mr. DeOrman.
Pretty extensive.
I'll get this started. If you look at the first page, it'll show you we're taking in plenty of roads. It's like 7.2 miles. And this was taken away from the Planning and Zoning Department and was given back to us about 2 weeks ago. We had a program started where we was taking roads on a pretty regular basis. A lot of these roads, the bonds has expired, and we done an audit to bring that list up to date. So if you look through your package, you can see where we went and measured all these roads in the last couple of weeks. And because the bonds are out, we need to go ahead and accept them.
They all pass inspection.
They're all in pretty decent shape. I walked each one of them with a roll wheel. That's how I measured them. So I didn't see no bad. I mean, we got spider cracks on some of them, but that's normal in the parish and all our roads. So if you have any questions, the legal opinion's in here. If the road wasn't inspected after 365 days, it automatically becomes into the maintenance system.
Move to accept.
We have a motion and a second to accept these roads into the parish system. Are there any objections?
Just discussion. Do we need to read
Discussion.
off the list, or is that okay? Just accept them?
I mean,
I
we
think-
can go through them one at a time if you want.
What we can do is
We'll read them at the
and
council
read
meeting.
through them at the council.
Yeah, it's in your
Right.
package
Yeah,
for
we'll just
council
read
It'll
it.
have to be done then anyway,
That's fine.
probably.
Thank you. Again.
Okay.
Again, are we still okay with the 1-year date on bond?
By accepting this in, I'm going to show you how we work that. CSRS, they compile a list of all our new subdivision development. This is the list. This main portion of this, all except this last one here, was roads that we're taking in because they passed the maintenance bond. So to bring it up to date, we are back on track now. We're starting right here. You'll start getting the roads before that bond runs out. I mean, we're on top of it now. We're going to continue to stay on top of it.
Wow.
Okay. So,
Great.
The answer to your question is,
but I mean, it all goes back to we still having problems with subdivisions taking 3 and 4 years to fill out. We take in a road, and by the time the concrete trucks finish going over them, it's time to overlay them again. Do we need to do some roads, maybe the main arterial road coming in and out of a subdivision, or do we? Is there a combination?
I think, Kent,
is there anything else we can do?
I think they're looking at a process to get the developers involved in this. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a movement to push the developers to have to sign for bonds too. In other words, if the roads, and we got signs in some of these subdivisions. If you look through this road list, they got a few signs missing. Well, really, after the bond done run out, you can't hold nobody responsible except the parish. So we're trying to get this upgraded to where we can come in and do the roads in time and have maybe a bond that's extending longer than 12 months. And the developers involved in it, too, to make sure that the roads and the signs are all up to date.
Can y'all come up with something, make some recommendations for us so that we can make something? Because this is an ongoing problem. We're getting hundreds of roads now, and this is going to be a nightmare in another 5 years if we don't do something now to make sure that what we're getting in, and a lot of times in 1 year you don't have enough time to find out exactly what. I mean, a good example is the Pelican Point deal there. You know,
it would be something that y'all could address in the subdivision ordinance as far as putting in more time limit on the bond instead of 12 months.
We just need a recommendation that something is going to be working better for us in the parish. And if you have a recommendation that's going to be better for the parish, we'll be glad to look at it.
Well, that's one of the recommendations I can tell you now. If your bond was extended for maybe 24 months instead of 12, you know.
Give us a recommendation at the next meeting. I'd like to review it and put it on the agenda as a recommendation that would be more sufficient for us to protect the parish.
We'll bring that back to you.
Stacy, get that on our agenda for the next Transportation Committee meeting. Councilman Lambert.
Yeah, I want to get something on the agenda for next meeting. Asphalt sealing. I know we've done it in the past. I just want to get it back on the agenda. Have several roads that maybe could be protected for longevity by sealing the cracks, and put that on the agenda. And a discussion on Cherie Drive off of this is in Mr. Barger's district. They want some, I guess, some bumps for slow the speeding down. But I know we have an issue with that. But I want to put it on the agenda to discuss it. That's Cherie Drive. That's it.
With that bill, if y'all can take another look on Ernest Floyd, that Ford, and I understand, I don't want to put it as one that we need to resurface and spend all that money on resurfacing, but it's just falling completely apart now.
Yes,
and it's getting to the point where it's dangerous, and you know, just take a look at as to how we can patch the cracks. Or do something that is going to make it a little safer. I mean, they've got 1 inch and 2 inch cracks in the roads. That's, I mean, it's failing pretty badly now, and it's. I do realize that it's not a heavily trafficked road, but it is one that is used by a number of people there.
We would normally, in cases like a road like that, would recommend just, you know, doing a surface maintenance on it. You know, just putting maybe a 2 inch, but that's on that particular road. You got major base failure, major base failure, and no drainage. So that the combination of the two is just it's always going to be bad unless you build the road up, put a good base on it, put drainage to it. You know, we're going to be doing the other issue thing we possibly can do is some sectional repair work. But well, you have to take those sections out because they're totally separated and upheaved.
Right.
So
and that's the danger.
Do sectional repairs on it.
It is considerably in the last 3 months has gotten worse and worse.
But unfortunately, you know you do the repair work unless you do it right, which is spending a good bit of money. You're gonna have this. If you repair it this year, by summer of next year or fall of next year, you're going to have the same thing happening, unfortunately. Because of the base.
Even right now, if you can just pour tar in between the cracks.
Yeah. And you see, but again, if you have upheaving of the pavement, where you have a separation and it's a different elevation, And so just putting a crack
Yeah.
seal in it, you still got that differential there that's going to cause a problem, and that's where the problem is. Driving is hitting that differential. We'll look at it. I'll take Kent.
Just
with
give
me
us some
out there.
suggestions, because it's getting to the point where it's
Right.
getting dangerous. And,
We'll review it again, and maybe URS will have some suggestions.
Yeah, thank you.
Just one last time, Sheriff. Yeah, on the next agenda, Stacy, would you put the stoplight request at McCoy Road and 42? And Bill, I got a call from Legislative Liaison, Mr. Juba Diaz, recently on that, and he's working that issue, trying to assist us with it. Would you kind of follow up on that, maybe, and get a report next meeting?
That's at McCrory and 42.
McCrory 1 and 42.
That's
yeah.
right. And just to give you a little bit of a note on what else we're doing with that, there's a subdivision recommended right off of that road behind one of the other subdivisions, and part of our comments to the developers is that something has to be done at that intersection, so I'm going to try to get some money to help out at that location too.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to drive safely, and we'll see you second Tuesday of the month, 6:30, or immediately following the Utility Committee. Thank you.